How to make a 3D Shopify store step by step. Hello everyone and welcome back. In today's video, I'll be showing you guys how you can get started with building your own 3D Shopify store. I'm going to be covering everything from the basics of Shopify, how you can get started with creating your own store step by step, so you guys can follow along. Starting off is going to be your Shopify subscription plan and your Shopify sign up. So simply head on over to shopify.com. The sign up on Shopify is very simple. You can sign up with your email address. So let's jump right in. Once you sign up with your email address, you are going to be creating your new store. So I'm gonna get started with you guys. So we're gonna start building our new store, and I'm gonna click on Create Store to start building my brand new store. Once I do that, you guys will see your basic onboarding questions. You can skip this customized setup because we really won't be needing this, and you can directly proceed with building your own store by yourself. Now from there, you are going to go on ahead and simply you're going to see this is your brand new store. Now when your brand new store is created, you are given a 3-day free trial. After that 3-day free trial, you basically are able to either opt for any plan on Shopify for $1 for the first month and then $1 for the second. And this is going to be for the first 3 months. So for the first 3 months, you guys can see that you can get it for only $1, even if you opt for the advanced plan or the grow plan. Then after that, you have to pay regular pricing on their Shopify plans. So moving forward, we are going to start building our store. The first thing I like to do is click on settings on the bottom left and then click on general. Once I go into my general settings, you will see your store info. I'm going to click on this and I'm going to rename my store, and my store is going to be called, let's say it's going to be called Sewares, or I want something different. I want to go with Midge. Let's say it's going to be called Midge. And then you're going to add a store phone number. Once you do that, you're going to click on save. And once you've done that, you can enter your billing address and then your store defaults. I'm going to click on my store defaults and change the store currency to USD. Once I do that, you can choose the reason for changing as well. Below that, you have your unit system, your weight unit, and your time zone. Then you have your order processing. I want to automatically, with anything that is prepaid, I want to fulfill the orders. After that, I automatically want to archive the orders. So once we've done that, we're going to click on save. Now, the next step is to get started with choosing our plan, because this pop-up is not going to leave you until you do. Click on select a plan, and once you do, you are going to select whichever plan you prefer. I'm going to go with the basic Shopify plan. I'm going to complete my information in this, and then I will get back to you guys in a second. So right now I've just confirmed my business address, and just like so, our plan has been selected. Once we have done that, it's time to get started with adding our first product. Now, for a 3-dimensional Shopify store, it's best if you are using a plugin, because plugins can make this really easy for any type of product. So we're going to click on add product, and we're going to get started with adding our first product. Let's say I want to call this my yellow, and we have a setup guide. We don't need that, so we're just going to close that pop-up. I'm going to call this my yellow ruffle, and then we are going to click on upload new, and we are going to upload some images for this particular product. And whatever images you are using, you want to make sure you have some professional images for any product that you're looking to sell, because the better your images, the better your product is going to sell. So this is my yellow ruffle set. I want to add a description, which is a 2-piece cotton satin crop top and pants for women. And then I want to choose the tone, and you can use this AI description generator provided by Shopify to be able to generate some amazing descriptions without having to pay a copywriter, without having to go through a lot of different technicalities. You can just do it pretty easily when you have this tool at your disposal. So I want to go with a playful tone, and I'm just going to click on generate. I'm going to provide it with the features and keywords, and I'm going to click on keep. Once I've done that, I can proceed. Now, I don't want to use this image as my primary image. I want to use this one. So I'm going to drag this image and drag it to the first slot to make this my primary image. Then I'm going to enter the price. Let's say it's $50. and I don't want to charge taxes. I can add the cost per item to calculate my own profit margins. This is not going to be displayed to your customers, so you do not have to worry about that at all. And you can add that for easier calculations for yourself. Now, after that, you can track the quantity, and if you have multiple variants, you obviously should be adding the quantity of each variant. So don't add the quantity here directly. Scroll down and then click on the variant option. You can add variants in things like color, size, fabric, age group, target gender, clothing features, buttons, no buttons, design, style 1, style 2. You have a bunch of different variant options because you can create your own custom variant options as well. So you can add your own custom variants if you want. We're not going to be doing that today. We're just going to be adding size as our primary variant, and we're going to add our sizes. Usually you want it to be standardized across all of your clothing items. So sizing, because it's pretty standardized, let's say I have 4 basic sizes: extra small, small, medium, large. Let's say extra large. Let's say these are our sizes, and I'm going to click on done. When you click on done here, if you scroll down, you will see the available variant for each option, and you can add each one of these individually. Now, you might say this is a tedious task to add this individually. If you go back into the products list in your Shopify store, then you can actually directly edit it all together in the form of a bulk edit. So let's say I have 60 units of each one of these, and after that we have meta fields and then our SEO. Now the SEO is going to determine how your listing for your product is going to appear on search engines. So it is recommended that you should be optimizing that so it looks the best possible and your products look as appealing as possible. So you should be doing that if you haven't done that already. And once you move forward, you can click on here and then customize it for us. I don't need any customizations because I'm not actually listing this, but we're just going to leave it at that. And then from here, we can proceed on to our next step, which is going to be to go back, and you can see the product has been added. Now, once you add your product, you want to ideally add this into a collection, because collections are what are going to basically categorize your entire Shopify store. So without collections, your Shopify store wouldn't be organized in any way. So to add some form of organization to your store, you do have to add different categories, and these categories can truly be whatever you prefer, but usually for different types of stores, if you have a clothing store, you want to add a category or a collection for tops, bottoms, and then dresses or something like that. If it's makeup, then it's eyes, lips, and I'll show you guys an example because it can be really tedious to build your own. So just take whatever type of store you're building, go into a similar competitor store, take a look at their shop section. This is another website that has been built via Shopify, and you can see it says all face, lips, eyes, and nails. That's how they have categorized it. If I was to compare this to this clothing website, you guys can see this clothing website, and I'm building a clothing website as well. So what they have done is they have built a collection for women, men, shoes, accessories, and then clearance, and then fragrances. So you can do that as well. I'm going to create a collection, and I'm just going to be calling this bottoms. So I'm going to make tops, bottoms, and then dresses. And then I'm going to add the collection type as smart. Now, when you add a smart collection, you can just add a tag is equal to bottoms, and I'm just going to click on save. So whenever I'm adding a product on my Shopify store, I can just tag it under bottoms, and then it would automatically be added to the bottom section or collection. And because I haven't tagged the first one, I would have to manually add that. So I will click on the bottom section and manually add that. And for that, I will click on, I'm going to have to convert that into a manual one to be able to do that. But we're going to close this out and then we can add it like so. But for now, because we only have one product and we want to focus more so on the 3D elements, but you do need to build these basic pillars. After that, you want to design your store, and you can generate a custom theme for your store. This is a brand new feature on Shopify where it generates custom themes for you, and I do recommend trying it out. The reason for that is when you try out the custom theme one, let's say this is going to be luxury clothing, and then I can click on generate custom themes. It is actually going to generate a theme based upon the information that you have provided, and those themes can be really expensive to create on your own, and you can get one completely for free. So who wouldn't want that, honestly? And you guys can see it has generated themes for us. This is something I recommend through and through. These are not highly customized themes. They do take elements from pre-existing free themes that are available, but they are still highly effective in bringing conversions to your store and ensuring that you get the right customers viewing your store and being interested in your store. And that is what is really important to drive your sales, to boost your conversions. So I personally think I like all three of these, but I like this one the most. It's pretty simplistic, but I like the color scheme and the way everything is presented. I can click on view demo to view the demo store, and if I want, I can actually, provide it more information on the type of theme I want. You can even scroll down and browse some of the popular themes on Shopify, but I'm going to try this theme, and this is going to be applied. This is going to be a free theme. You don't have to pay for this, so we're just going to leave it. And then we're going to click on customize. Now, this is going to be where we want to include 3D. Now, even though we are going to be including 3D elements, I do not recommend a wholly 3D store. Now you might say, hey, that's pretty counterintuitive. Isn't the entire purpose of this video right now to build a 3D store? It most definitely is, but there are limitations to a 3D store that your regular store can overcome. And a lot of people might instantaneously think, hey, my 3D store is going to look beautiful, awesome. Why should I be building this type of sectioning? Why should I customize this particular theme and make it my own? The reason for that is if you do not build a simplistic version of your website, if you do not build this 2D version of your website, then it can be really difficult for your customers to navigate your website. And that is where the issue lies. It's really important to have a navigation system that is designed with the customer in mind rather than your style inspiration. So even though we're going to be using 3D elements, that's why I recommend using the AI tool to generate a theme that is still going to look really nice in place for those people that are not going to find the 3D version of your store to be very interesting. So once we've done that, we have done the basics. It's time to go for adding our 3D elements. So for that, we're going to be using the Odyssey 3D application. You can set up a 3D Shopify store in seconds, and I'll show you guys exactly how. But keep in mind, this is not a free tool. You do have to pay for this tool. You can directly create a free version, but this is only for stores that are in the trial version. If you want a Forge plan, which includes product selection, frame management, 3D model customization, store personalization, this is going to be $10 a month, and you can also get a 30-day free trial. After that, you have the Apex, which is their Pro Max, which includes the 3D product configurator, AI texture generation, AI 3D model generation, VR room, and multiple stores. So we're going to go back into our Shopify dashboard, and in our Shopify dashboard, we're going to click on Add Apps on the left, then click on Apps and Sales Channel Settings. Once you do that, click on the Shopify App Store on the top right. Once you click on the Shopify App Store on the top right, you can simply search for Odyssey 3D, and you will see this application called Odyssey 3D Virtual Stores. And if you scroll down, you will see there are two plans that are available. So we're going to click on install over here. Once we click on install, we can proceed with the installation of this particular application for our Shopify store. And we're just going to wait for the installation to be completed. And we're going to click on install once more. And then we're going to move forward into the next step. Now, I like to click on the pin icon to pin this to my navigation for easier access. Once we do that, we're going to click on Get Started. From there, we're going to click on submit. And then you have two options. In the Roam version, you can build and customize your, dream store, but you're not going to be able to make your store live. So you cannot make your store visible to the public if you are on the Roam version. Then on the Forge Pro Lite, you can basically create custom product selection, ambient music, interior studio, 3D model customization, branding freedom, and frame management. Now I'm going to be selecting this so I can show you guys all the different features, but you do get a 1 month free trial. But if you want, you can go with the free one. You can click on select this plan. Once you do, this will again open up a new tab. You have a 30-day free trial ending on the 26th of May. Subscription $10 every 30 days. Click on approve. And this will just use whatever information for payments that you have provided to Shopify, and it's going to use that as your method of payment. So you don't have to add another method of payment. It's just going to extract that information on its own. So now that we have done some of the basics of building our 3D store, we can click on continue, and then we're going to click on continue. After that, you're going to upload your logo. I have not designed my logo yet, so let's just quickly move into Canva to design our logo. And we're going to search for logo here. I'm going to use anything that looks pretty for our logo. This looks so pretty. Oh my God. I think I just fell in love with this look. Oh, I really like the templates that I'm seeing today. There's something about the templates today that is very pretty. I'm surprised. I'm going to customize this, but I'm also going to look at some other ones because you never know what you can find on Canva. And we're going to click on, okay, so it's Maisel or Midge. Yeah, I think we named our store Midge, so I'm going to go with MIDG. The G looks a bit ugly in this one. I might have to opt for a different font style. And then I'm going to copy this, add it over here, and then add an E over here like this. Midge Studio. I like the studio part, so I'm going to keep it. I'm going to move this to the center. I'm going to resize the studio here. It looks nice, but I think it just doesn't have that kind of flair. For that, I'm going to click on this G, click on effects. I'm going to add a background. No, not a background, but actually, if I go with the spread and reduce the spread, click on the color, add the base color as my spread. The D looks really odd if I add this kind of spread. I mean, if I reduce like the transparency and whatnot, it just does not look that good. What I'm going to do is I'm going to add another G like this, place it directly on top, increase the size a tad bit, and then click on the color of this one to change it to the same color as the background. Then I'm going to click on the top right, click on layer, bring to front. I'm going to go into layer, send backward. Then I'm going to click on layer, send backward. Again, go into my layers, or you can directly go into layers, click on show all layers. I'm going to move it over here so it's between like the D and E. And wherever I have my E, I'm also going to move it down like this. So it has this really beautiful little outline that looks very crisp. Then for the studio, I'm going to just add it like this. Click on share, click on download. Download the page 1, not page 2 and page 1, only page 1. And then we're going to go with the transparent background. And just like that, we've designed our logo. It takes hardly 5 to 10 minutes to design a good logo right now in Canva because they have such amazing templates and tools you can work with. We've uploaded our logo. We've added our tagline, which is going to be dress to impress. Dress to impress. And then I'm going to click on Save Changes. Now here you are able to choose your space for your store. So how do you want your store to look like? This can be a veranda, mat gallery, floral retreat. You have so many different options. You can search by category. Let's say I want it to be classic, and this is a mat gallery, minimalistic, nature inspired, none. So I want to go with something that's very shoppy. I like the rustic one. This looks really nice. So I can click on preview to see what this actually looks like, to see how my store would look like if I, opted in for this before we decide on opting in. And we're just going to wait for our preview until our preview is loaded up. I'm gonna wait. And once our waiting has been completed, then we are going to see this is what it looks like. So currently I only have one product, so it's listing my singular product. And it also has music on the top right. Now from here you have the movement tools, navigation, interaction, click to move, joysticks, one-handed, two-handed, perspective, how zoomed out or in do you want it to be. Then you have mouse sensitivity, movement power, and then vertical moves. This is what it looks like. People can look around. When they're looking around, they can walk around. The mouse sensitivity is a bit too high. If I go with this looks better, like this. And the perspective, I think I'm gonna tone it down. I actually prefer a zoomed out perspective, so I'm gonna leave it at that. And I think I like this, so I'm gonna click on customize to customize this, because you can customize these 3D stores or 3D storefronts, which we are going to do. And it's going to take a few seconds, so we're gonna skip this short and sweet tour. And from here you can begin your customizations. First off, on the left you can change your music. You can search for different music and you can add your own. Then if you go back, you can upload your own music from your device. Then you have frames, so you have existing frames and then dynamic frames. Then you also have the access, where you can add different assets that are placed within the store. You can add your own 3D models. You can actually find a bunch of different tools that do have 3D models available. So you can check out those 3D models if you are uncertain about adding your own 3D models, but it is not going to be too complicated to add your own either ways. From there, we can further explore, and we're gonna go back. I think I just like it as it is. I don't want to make any changes and make it look ugly, because I really like it the way it is. If someone, looks at my product, they can go back. This is frame 4. If they click on this icon, they can click on go to product and they would be led to our product like this. And this is why it's important to make your store look pretty as well, not just your 3D store, because if your store does not look pretty, it's not going to bode well. So I'm going to click on select. Once I do that, you can select your items which you want to display. Now, this is another strategy that I see certain people applying, is that they take a certain collection or a certain new drop and they only sell that particular drop or collection in their fancy store. Now, this actually works really well, and that can be because it provides a elevated element of luxury to your store. So you can do that. That is another, marketing strategy you can apply. But I'm just going to leave it because I only have one product. It really does not truly matter for me. And I'm just going to click on continue. You can select upwards of 10 products. Once you do that, it's time to proceed with creating or launching this in your store editor. You can click on next. You can add your 3D experience. So once we've created this, it's time to integrate this into our Shopify store. To do that, I'm going to go into online store over here. Once I go into my online store over here, I can proceed by going into customize. Once I go into customize over here, I'm going to scroll down. Let's say I want to add my 3D store experience right under my welcome page. I'm going to go over here, and you can directly do this on the left. You can click on add section. Once I do add section, I can click on apps. Once you click on apps, you can click on 3D shop experience. Now that our 3D shop experience has been added, you're going to select this section here. You can select the background image. I don't want to use any image. If you want, you can add a background video. You can customize, the margin bottoms, the heights and whatnot. But if I'm going to leave it at that with the default images, then you're going to hold it by these 3 dots and just drag it to where you want it to be. I want it to be right under here. Then I'm going to click on this again, the margin bottoms, the height. I want to make this a bit taller, like this. So this looks a bit better. It occupies most of the screen now. I'm going to set a background. I'm just going to go with another stock footage video, and I'm just going to wait for it to be added. Enter our 3D. I don't like it anymore. I think it looked better without the stock footage image. I'm gonna leave it at like the blank image. I just think it just looks very interesting. I don't know why. And then we're just gonna click on save. Now, if I click on exit, if I click on my online store, this is what it looks like. So this is what our store currently is looking like. And from here, if I scroll down, click on enter our 3D experience, they are going to be led into my 3D experience within a couple of seconds. And when they are led into our 3D experience, we can just browse around. So customers can browse around like so. And I have the same product repeating. That's why it looks a bit boring, but it just makes it really interesting. I'm gonna turn off the music because it sounds a bit funny when I'm talking over it. But just like that, you can build your own 3D store on Shopify. Now, moving forward, once you have done this, you still have to set up a couple more things because your Shopify store needs to have its own shipping rates and your own checkout system. To do that, you can click on settings on the bottom left, and then you're going to go into shipping and delivery because you need to set up some type of shipping. So you can click on your general shipping rates and you can select different markets and areas that you're serving. So you have domestic shipping. I can add a rate. I'm going to use my rate name as 1 and the price for this is $1. I'm going to click on done. Just like that. I'm going to remove the standard shipping. And for international zones, let's say it's going to be custom. The rate name is going to be 1 and the price is going to be $10 for international zones. You can click on add regions/countries to markets to add these regions into the markets that you have saved where you are delivering your products, because certain stores might only be serving certain areas. So if you don't ship to an area, don't add it in your markets. If you do, add it into your markets. Then once you've done that, you're going to go into your final step, which is going to be payments. I'm going to click on save and then click on payments over here. Once I click on payments, I can click on choose a provider to choose a payment processing provider. Now you can use Shopify payments for your provider because it's one of the most easily integratable systems, but you have other payment systems as well. You can even set up a bogus gateway just to test out how orders are going to look like in your store. You can also set up manual payment methods like cash on delivery, money orders, and bank deposits, and even create your own custom payment methods such as mobile wire transfers that might be popular in your local area. So I hope you guys found this video helpful and you are now able to get started with building your own 3D Shopify store. If you did find this video helpful, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. And if you have any questions or queries, you guys can leave those in the comments down below. I would love to know what you guys have to say.